Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the I Watch Horror podcast. As always, I am your host Matt, and today is all about sequels. Constantine, It Follows, and Jennifer's Body all have sequels in the works, plus we have a couple of exciting theatrical releases to discuss. Before we get started, be sure to like and rate the show. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe for all kinds of great horror content. Alright, let's get to it. For a project that fans have been waiting on for nearly 20 years, the updates around Constantine 2 are still a little nebulous. The sequel to the 2005 cult film is moving forward, with star Keanu Reeves and director Francis Lawrence both returning, alongside writer Akiva Goldsman. Reeves recently confirmed that a new draft of the script is in circulation, and that the creative team intends to submit it to DC Studios for the next round of approvals. However, DC Studios co-head James Gunn has offered his perspective on where the project stands on the executive side. He acknowledges having multiple discussions with Reeves regarding the film's development. Crucially though, Gunn has not yet had a chance to read the actual screenplay. The sequel is planned as an Elseworlds project, which means it will exist outside the primary shared DC Universe continuity that Gunn and his partner Peter Safran are building. From what we understand, the story will remain in the world established by the first film, but will deliver an even more tortured version of John Constantine. So while the script is finished and the main creative team is clearly motivated, the final gatekeeper, the studio head, is still waiting for the official document to land on his desk. It's a slow crawl out of development hell, but the fact that the key players are still talking and the script is actively being refined suggests that the chain-smoking exorcist still has a future on the big screen. In other sequel news, fans of David Robert Mitchell's 2014 indie horror sensation It Follows have been waiting a decade for definitive news on a sequel. The original, with its ambiguous sense of time and potent anxiety, felt complete, yet its open ending left room for more. Now we have a concrete update straight from the film's star Maika Monroe. Monroe, who will be reprising her role as Jay Hite, confirms she has read Mitchell's script for the follow-up, which is titled They Follow. Her assessment? Incredible, and very different from the first film. The details she offered hint at a shift in tone. While the first film often felt like a surreal nightmare, the sequel sounds like it may be more intimately focused. Monroe mentioned the script is quite grounded and centers on the journey of two women dealing with profound mental struggles. It suggests Mitchell is using his horror framework to delve into the very real internal conflicts of his characters, which tracks with the subtext of the original. There's no official date locked in, but Monroe did mention there is a rumored production start date for next year. Naturally, she concluded with a cautious but optimistic statement. Fingers crossed it happens. It's a promising sign for a sequel that has been a ghost story in its own right for a very long time. Director Ryan Coogler's 1930s Southern Gothic horror Sinners is heading back to select IMAX theaters for a week-long theatrical release. The film, which blends historical drama with a visceral supernatural threat, was an original and critical success earlier this year. It gave us Michael B. Jordan in a demanding dual role as twin brothers Elijah Smokemore and Elias Stackmore, who returned to their Mississippi Delta hometown only to find a far more ancient, hungry evil waiting for them. Screenings begin on October 30th and will conclude on November 5th. It's a chance to see the film's intense cinematography and large-scale action sequences, which are particularly well suited for the IMAX format. Michael B. Jordan's complex twin performance alongside a strong supporting cast that includes Haley Stanfield and Delroy Lindo is what anchored this horror epic. Given Coogler's knack for blending genre with real social history, experiencing this one on the biggest screen possible feels like the proper way to revisit its themes of cultural trauma and existential dread. Tickets are now available for those select showings through IMAX's official website. Continuing the theme of theater releases, the finale of Stranger Things will be given a theatrical release. This isn't just a streaming drop. The last episode of the show will premiere in over 350 movie theaters across the US and Canada on December 31st, simultaneously with its release on Netflix. Series creators, the Duffer Brothers, have reportedly been very vocal about their desire for this kind of communal send-off. They've suggested that the immense production effort, especially the detailed sound design and cinematic visuals, often get lost on the smaller home viewing screens. A big screen debut offers the full intended spectacle and crucially a shared audience experience. This theatrical finale will cap an already staggered and dramatic end-of-the-year rollout for the final season. The first block of new episodes is set to drop on November 26th, right around the American Thanksgiving holiday. A second, smaller batch will then arrive on Christmas Day, creating this momentum that builds right up to the New Year's Eve big screen conclusion. This is an unusual event-style schedule for the streaming series, but one that certainly highlights the scale of the final chapter. And finally, a sequel to 2009's Jennifer's Body is in the works. Director Karyn Kusama recently confirmed that original screenwriter Diablo Cody is drafting a script for a follow-up to the feminist horror comedy. Kusama hasn't shared details, but she described the concept as being as funny and crazy as the first film. This project arrives 16 years after the original movie struggled at the box office. Misleading marketing positioned it as simply another exploitative horror flick, largely burying the film's satire on female friendship, trauma, and media exploitation. Despite that rocky start, the film found a passionate second life, graduating from box office disappointment to a legitimate cult classic. Younger audiences in particular have championed its themes, recognizing the deeper subtext that was initially overlooked. The long-awaited return of these characters and the reunion of Kusama and Cody is especially compelling given the way the original ended, with Needy inheriting some of her friend Jennifer's supernatural abilities. That finale set the stage for a much larger and potentially more powerful demonic journey. We'll be keeping a very close eye on what shape this new resurrected chapter takes. And that does it for the news this week. All of my sources will be included in the show notes. For upcoming releases this week, we have one in theaters and a couple of video-on-demand releases. First up in theaters is Self-Help, and the synopsis reads: a young woman infiltrates a dangerous self-actualization community after her mother becomes entangled with its enigmatic leader. First up for video-on-demand is Vincent Must Die, and the synopsis reads: random strangers have suddenly started attacking Vincent with murderous intent. His existence as an unremarkable man is overturned, and as things spiral violently out of control, he is forced to flee and change his life completely. Next up, House of Ashes, and the synopsis reads: grieving widow Mia must survive psychological and supernatural horrors while under house arrest. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, share, all of those things. I would greatly appreciate it. It is a huge, huge help. We are on YouTube, Instagram, X, and Threads. The handle for all four is I_watch_horror. I hope you all have an amazing Halloween. Until next time, take care.